What if I told you that the place you're looking at is not in the United States, but it is actually in Europe? Well, it turns out that there are many places in Europe that look like places in different continents. Well, in today's video, we're gonna dive deep into those places and talk about them. Now, without any further ado, let's get into the video. Number 5 is the Tabernas Desert in Spain, which is the only desert in Europe. When people talk about deserts, they usually imagine places like the Sahara, but this one is very different. The Tabernas Desert has rocky hills, dry riverbeds, and wide open spaces, making it a unique place to visit. Even though it's very dry, the desert is home to many plants and animals. You can spot small lizards running around, and you'll find cacti and other desert plants that have adapted to survive with little water and extreme heat. One cool thing about the Tabernas Desert is that it was used in many famous movies. It's called the Hollywood of Europe because old Western films, like A Fistful of Dollars, were filmed here. The wide empty spaces make it perfect for movies set in the Wild West. The climate in the Tabernas Desert is one of the driest in Europe, and it almost never rains. In the summer it gets really hot, but even though it's tough, it's a beautiful place, and every time you visit, you'll see something new. Today, the Tabernas Desert is a popular spot for tourists, filmmakers, and nature lovers. Whether you come to learn about the history, see the wildlife, or just enjoy the amazing views, this desert shows that Europe has hidden gems in places we don't always expect. Alright guys, at number 4 we have the Gorafe Desert in Granada, Spain. This is a truly stunning place filled with dramatic canyons, steep cliffs, and wide open plains. It is a dry and rugged area that was shaped millions of years ago, when a large lake in the area dried up. What was left behind is a unique and fascinating desert landscape that shows the power of nature over time. One of the most interesting things about the Gorafe Desert is the Gorafe Megalithic Park. This area has more than 200 ancient stone sites called dolmens. These dolmens are thousands of years old and give the desert a sense of mystery and history. As you walk through the area, you can see these impressive stone structures scattered across the land, reminding you of the people who lived there long ago. The desert is also full of plants and animals that have adapted to survive in its harsh conditions. You might see wild olive oil trees and tough desert bushes growing in the dry soil. The skies above are often filled with birds, and if you're lucky, you might spot a golden eagle flying high overhead. The changing light throughout the day makes the desert look different every hour, with shadows and colors that create beautiful and ever-changing views. The Gorafe Desert is not just a natural wonder, it is also a place of peace and adventure. You can do hiking throughout the valleys, take amazing photos of its unique landscape, or simply enjoy the quietness. Okay guys, at the number 3 we get the Meteora in Greece. This is one of the most amazing places you can visit. It's famous for its huge, tall rock formations that rise up from the ground, making the landscape look simply magical. These giant rocks are not even just beautiful to look at. They've been home to ancient monasteries for hundreds of years. The monasteries are built on top of the rocks, high above the ground, offering incredible views of the valley below. When you see Meteora for the first time, it feels like you've stepped into a different world. The rocks and the monasteries look so unique that it's easy to imagine that this place is somewhere in the American Southwest, or even in Central Asia. The way the rocks stand tall and the monasteries sit on the top makes the area feel very special and different from anything else. Okay guys, number 2 we have the Kalmykian Republic in Russia. This extraordinary republic in southern Russia is a real cultural marvel. It stands out as the only region in Europe where Buddhism is the predominant religion, creating an inspiring contrast to its surroundings. Nestled between the Caspian Sea and the steppe, Kalmykia offers a blend of vast landscapes and spiritual depth that captivates visitors. The Kalmyk people, descendants of the Mongols, brought their Buddhist traditions centuries ago, and these traditions remain a big part of their daily life. The capital, Elista, is home to one of the largest Buddhist temples in Europe. Elista also celebrates chess with a grand chess palace and sculptures dedicated to the game, blending traditions with a modern twist. Kalmykia's steppe stretches endlessly, offering breathtaking views of open grasslands and peaceful horizons. Wild horses roam around freely, adding to the natural beauty of the landscape. Kalmykia has a beautiful mix of culture and nature. Its Buddhist heritage and environment makes it one of Europe's most unexpected and memorable destinations. Okay guys, at the number 1 we have the Bardenas Reales. This is a large, dry area in southeastern Spain. It is a special place protected by UNESCO as a biosphere reserve. The land has been shaped by wind and rain over millions of years, creating flat areas, deep valleys, and strange hills called cabezos. One of the most famous places here is the strange rock formation that looks like a pyramid. Even though it looks like a desert with little water and few plants, Bardenas Reales is full of life. Eagles, vultures, foxes, and lizards live here. They managed to adapt to the harsh conditions here. The area is divided into 3 main parts: the plano, which is flat, the Bardena Blanca, the driest and most well-known area, and another part of Bardena, which has more plants and small forests. For hundreds of years, people have used this land for farming and grazing animals. Part of it is also used by military for training. Its amazing scenery has been featured in movies and shows like Game of Thrones. Visitors can walk, bike, or drive through the Bardenas Reales to enjoy its strange and beautiful landscapes.